I have gone to college myself too, but it is very circumstantial. कैसे कि when have I gone to college the most? During events, college events, I have organized them, I have been a part of them, and I have gone there. There's been a situation where on a Sunday, I have taken special permission from the college authorities, got the college guards to come, open the college administrator's office, and we have gone and worked there. The entire college system will have to change. The current educationalists won't want that, but the change is necessary. The education system is very generalized.
Right.
Okay, let's go for schools. Schools have the model that they make the curriculum based on the weakest student, so that the weakest student cannot suffer. Okay, so when it comes to say a student who has say above average intelligence, that student suffers. Now if you move from that level and if you go to a more generalized level, say on a higher up level, then the weaker students will suffer, right? Ki maa babat taka nosto keno korcho, you're wasting the seat, this, that. I mean, man, who are you to tell me that? Right? What is my relation with my parents, and whether or not I'm wasting my parents' money? Who are you to tell me that? To an extent where, say, the professors, they address everybody by first name. I'm the only person who receives Rit Gupta.
Hello everyone, welcome to Student Voice Matters podcast. This is your host Rishik, and today with me it's Reed Gupta. Reed, hi and welcome to Student Voice Matter podcast. How are you doing, buddy?
Hello, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me here.
So yes, Reed, before we get on to the discussion, can you please introduce yourself to the audience who will be watching?
Okay, sure. So I will ditch the boring and I will say something less known. Okay, firstly, I am very camera cautious. I've been avoiding the camera my entire life. So, but here I am. So, well, yeah, that is one thing. Secondly, I'm in Bhawanipur College, final year economics, hoping to graduate this time, but let's see. And, well, I don't go to college a lot, but I have issued my ID card 3 times because I lost it once and my dog ate it once more. And that's it.
Okay, Reed, you just said that, you don't go to college that often, right? So what is the reason? I have seen many people do that. They always say that we don't go college, or they keep procrastinating that nahi jana aaj college or something, that I just it's for the sake of attendance, otherwise I don't end up in college usually. So aisa kyun hota hai? Why do you think that people nowadays are more into not going colleges and procrastinating than chalo college jate hai, kuch naya seekhne ko milega, I'll make new friends or whatever. So what is the reason?
The answer to your question is in your question, kuch naya seekhne ko milega. So it doesn't exactly work that way based on what we are taught, because say I'm in economics and say today in the 3 years of economics, in the final year maybe I've had something that applies in the real world. In the first 2 years we have been taught endless assumptions ki okay, 5 factors are constant, 1 is changing, so what will happen? Now that never applies in the real world, so kuch naya seekhne ko nahi mila. And now it's not that people don't go to college. I have gone to college myself too, but it is very circumstantial. Kaise? Ki when have I gone to college the most? During events, college events, I have organized them, I have been a part of them, and I have gone there. There's been a situation where on a Sunday, I have taken special permission from the college authorities, got the college guards to come, open the college administrator's office, and we have gone and worked there. So ऐसा नहीं है कि हम लोग college नहीं जाते हैं. Even on Eid, I have gone to college, which is a national holiday. So the thing is that when it comes to college, I will quote the dean of my college here, Professor Dilip, great man, and he's a CA himself, great experience. He says कि college में बच्चे लोग जब आते हैं उन लोग को classroom से ज़्यादा canteen में सीखने को मिलता है. And I quote. Right. So this is an approach that is there, and if I add something more to that, then say अपना college में BCom department जो है, that is like 90% of the students. Now the timings for BCom is, most of them in the morning is 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now the dean was asked in a huge event that why is it like this, ऐसा क्यों है, and बच्चे लोग college नहीं आते हैं, and sir said कि क्यों आएंगे college? मेरा जो मटीरियल है कॉलेज का वो पूरा लेक्चर्स डाउनलोड करके अपलोड किया हुआ है क्लाउड पे. एवरी स्टूडेंट कैन यूज़ देयर यूनिक आईडी एंड एक्सेस इट. तो वो लोग कॉलेज आके क्या और एडिशनल होगा? दी ओनली एडिशनल पार्ट इज़ डाउट क्लियरेंस. उसके लिए प्रोफेसर स्टे you can go to the library and contact them at any point of time. So the entire purpose of this, and I believe that a lot of educational institutions are also implementing this. For example, BITS has been implementing this key. It should be decentralized a bit, and say if you are making an adult who is paying to be in the college, to force that person to come and attend college, then there is something wrong with you and not the person. So I believe that is a huge factor that exists here.
Meanwhile, I would like to take a pause and let you guys know that this video is sponsored by Advent Education, your overseas educational partner. So if you dream of studying abroad, make sure you contact Advent Education. The details is given in the description below, and get your abroad education journey started. What do you think that students in future, जो लोग आने वाले हैं in college, what do you think the problems they are going to face regarding this topic?
I mean, if we go into say forecasting that, once again it is very forecasting, it is individualistic opinion that I have, that the entire college system will have to change. The current educationalists won't want that, but the change is necessary. Kaise? Ki eventually I believe colleges will become a hub for interaction and not education.
Right.
Because the way, say, the entire dynamics of education is changing, I can access everything that my college professors can teach me using one prompt in ChatGPT, man. So if I know how to prompt well enough, then we can do that. In fact, I personally was involved in a project of the college where the college wanted to develop a sort of AI-based chatbot which would act like a professor. And they would, say, assimilate all the data set that the AI model would use would be the syllabus, and that would act as a virtual professor. However, due to some technicalities that is still under process, it is not developed yet. But yes, that is something that will come up in the future. If we say look at how AI is developing, that is something that will come up. So colleges will become a place of interaction and say more of interpersonal development center than an educational center primarily. And I believe that is more educational than textbooks. So yeah.
Okay, Reed, so my next question is that there are certain times when in future we would be seeing that students of college जाएंगे नहीं because कुछ नया सीखने को नहीं मिल रहा, ठीक है? Sometimes, right? If you see on a broader perspective, I know this is subjective, but then if we see on a broader perspective, यही हो रहा है maximum जगह पे. So why do you think, what are the problems we are having right now with the education system that people are actually procrastinating?
The education system is very generalized.
Right.
Okay. The educational system is, and I think this is something that cannot be dealt with that easily, because today if we talk about, say, let's forget colleges for some time, let's go for schools. Schools have the model that they make the curriculum based on the weakest student, so that the weakest student cannot suffer. Okay. So when it comes to, say, a student who has, say, above average intelligence, that student suffers. Now if you move from that level and if you go to a more generalized level, say on a higher up level, then the weaker students will suffer. So that is something that is not very easy to address. But at the same time, if, say, the entire dynamics of education is made more subjective, ki, for example, a mechanism where it is identified that okay, this is the particular skill set that a student might have, and you make it accordingly.
Basically, you mean to say that जो student जैसा है उसके लिए customized syllabus बनाना पड़ेगा, right?
Not, once again, syllabus cannot be customized.
Right.
The overview will be there.
Exactly.
But the method of implementation can be more customized, and that is not something that is very easy to achieve. I personally don't know how that will happen. Exactly. I'm saying that can happen, but I don't know how that will happen. So that is something that only time can say, and I mean, who am I to forecast that accurately?
Yeah. So basically, if someday you get a chance to raise your voice on a more bigger level, so you will come up and say that the implementation of putting up education for any individual should be customized from their perspective, like from how they can cope up with the mechanism, right?
I mean, yes, that is how the world is evolving, and not just for education. The customization is there everywhere. For example, I open Google is customized to me. Right. So that the customization is something that will happen. Now, when it comes to technical aspects, there are a lot of complex algorithms that work and that cannot be utilized for, say, a very educational perspective. But that is something that will have to come up eventually if we want to move in, say, a more inclusive direction of education.
Right. So now coming back to your college life, Okay, Reet, I would like to ask you this question now that, in your entire college tenure, have you ever procrastinated, or have you ever felt कि no, I don't need to go to colleges because there is something lacking, I'm okay sitting at home? So ऐसा कभी हुआ है क्या?
I mean, yes, that has happened because of the fact that, say, professors, I am myself a student who is not very academically inclined. The last time I properly studied was in class 10 before my ICSE. After that, well, I had science because my parents made me take science, and common Bengali psychology, I wanted to switch. They did not let me switch once again. So after that, lockdown hit, studies went off, and then, well, yes, I was not very academically inclined, and that resulted in a lot of, say, ridicule from professors. Right, ki mao babar taka noshto keno korcho, you're wasting the seat, this, that. I mean, man, who are you to tell me that? Right? What is my relation with my parents, and whether or not I'm wasting my parents' money? Who are you to tell me that? I have gone to say give exams, external exams. In CU we have the practice that we go to an external center.
Yeah.
So I had gotten a supplementary in one paper, and I went for a retest. So there was a genuine issue in the question paper, which was addressed, and then the invigilator out of nowhere came and said ki porashona to koro na, ki hobe. Like, that person does not know me, that person does not know anything about my background,
and he's very indifferent about the problem that is actually there, right?
Exactly. And that is, say, once again, it is a very strong statement on my end, but, say, academic people, I believe, have a more entitled behavior when it comes to somebody who's not that academically qualified as them.
Right.
So this is a genuine issue that exists, and I mean, this is not how it is supposed to be, because at the end of the day, they are here to help me.
So Reed, you just spoke about teachers being indifferent to students, right, who are not academically inclined. That's like one of the biggest problems. So anything happened to you? ऐसा तुम्हारे साथ कुछ हुआ है कि you came up with this conclusion?
I mean, it's a accumulation of many small incidents, and I'll just bring one of that up. So when in college, I was, a kind of jugaadu person, okay? Right. I made, say...
Like Project Jugaru.
Project Jugaru.
Like pick something from this, pick something from that, and just change your name and give...
No, a bit more jugaru than that.
Right.
So I grouped up with toppers. They did all the work.
Okay. Yeah.
I can speak, so I just came, spoke my part, and okay, that's it. I didn't make any presentation. Now, the professors had an issue with that as well. Like, why they told the good students that, why are you in a group with this guy? To an extent where, say, the professors, they address everybody by first name. I am the only person who receives Rit Gupta from the professors. So I'm the only person, one of the only people in the college who is addressed by their full name by almost every professor. So, I mean, that is not an issue, but this shows that, there is some kind of animosity that exists because I am not somebody who attends classes regularly, or say I'm not that good when it comes to academics. And once again, it's not that I create trouble in class. I'm not there in class, so I can't create trouble.
Right.
But that does exist.
So basically, this indifferent attitude, this should change. Like, the attitude should be more generic, right?
I mean, it should be more compassionate, I believe.
Okay.
Because I have seen compassion being shown towards other students.
Right. Then why not me?
Then, see, it's not, I mean, yes, to some extent, that it's not just why not me, but why will you segregate between a particular group of students just on the basis of academia?
Right. And this is a very global problem.
I mean, yes, that exists everywhere. And I mean, to some extent, it is very essential to segregate on the basis of academia when it comes to admission and everything. But when there is a forum where everybody is supposed to be treated equal, why is that not there?
Right.
And I believe this is not just a problem of the particular professor I'm talking about, but it's a very common problem that exists everywhere, from schools to colleges to universities and even in workplaces. So, segregation, yes.
And on the basis of behavior.
Not on the basis of if it is on the basis of behavior, that is very normal, because humans are social beings, and the best parameter of your social compatibility is your behavior. Right. But when it comes to academia, today, okay, I can't solve complicated econometric problems, man. Okay, but there are a lot of things that I can do.
Right.
And it's not just my individualistic problem, but a lot of people do face it.
Right.
So that is something that should genuinely be addressed, and it is not something that, you know, a professor has said that okay, this is your problem, you'll mend it. The professor will have a justification for that, which, I mean, once again, justifications are very subjective.
Right.
So this is a paradigm shift in mentality that is needed.
Right. Right. Well, yes. Thanks, Reed. Thanks once again for coming up in this podcast and sharing your values and thoughts and voice. And I wish you the best of luck for future. Well, that's all. If you want to join in for this podcast, make sure you check out the link in the description below and register yourself to do a podcast with me, just like Reed did. And yes, make sure you like, share, and subscribe this channel. That's all. See you again. Thanks, Reed.
Thank you so much for having me here.